I apologize for being late. 2 minutes. Someone you agree? We're alive. We are here. How are you? Yo, chitty chat. While I tie my clothes. Let's be here in the present moment together. So, one of you creative visionary, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you are so beautifully well. I hope you are beautifully well. Welcome to Itemba Temple, where I help you activate hope in your own body temple. Okay, hold on 2 seconds. I gotta have all my gears together. I don't have a light on. Welcome to Temple Temple, where I help you activate hope in your own body temple. Igama lam uThembelihle Buthelezi, Queen Bringer of Good Hope. My name literally means Bringer of Good Hope. So I gotta tell you something. I just want to tell you that I love you. No cheaty chat. No cheaty chat. I just want to tell you that I love you. Because I love myself. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. I love myself so much so that you can love me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. That you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. And you can start loving me. Yes, I love myself so much. I gotta thank Agape Music Ministry for that song. This man was just, I used to go to Agape. I went to Agape for a long time. Agape International Spiritual Center for a long time. I first went to Agape when I moved to America while still living in Los Angeles. And then I left and moved to Vegas. And then 2008. And then I saw Michael Beckwith on The Secret. Right. And then in 2008... I saw him on The Secret like 4, something like that. Early. And then I went to New York. And then I moved back to Vegas. And then in 2008, I was in Los Angeles. And something in me was like, look up Michael Beckwith. I was on a vacation, just vacationing in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. And I was like, look up Michael Beckwith. Come to find out that Agape was still at the same location. So I just dragged my husband, because I always just drag my husband. I dragged my husband to Agape, and I started going to church at Agape. It wasn't even 15 months later, after that 2008 decision, it wasn't even 15, it was like 12 months later, maybe 10 months later. My husband got a job at Disney and we moved to Burbank, California. This is how these things work, okay? My intuition is spot on. It's like when I don't listen to my intuition, bad things happen. It's like I become a ditz, like a ditz. Not that there's anything wrong with being a ditz, but it's like so unattractive. Anyway, so my husband gets a job at Disney. You remember I was telling you a few days ago about the story of going to China, how I was able to live in China. So anyway, my husband gets a job at Disney. I still got my vision board on my wall. My husband gets a job. And he moves to Burbank, California for 2 years. And in that 2 years, we kept now moving, like going to go and see where we're going to live in China. And making the plan to move to China. It wasn't even 2 years. It was like a year something. So then when my husband was living in Burbank, California, I would come almost every weekend to Burbank because I was like, thank God he's out the house. I can have this big ass house to myself. Thank God he's out the house. It was so nice to not have a husband at home. So I've always lived like this. My husband and I, in probably the 23 years we've been together, we've probably been together maybe 15 years. The rest of the time, we just live our own lives. We just live our own lives. He lives in another country, he lives in another city, and I just live my own life, just like that, you know. So anyway, I would go to Burbank almost every weekend to go visit my husband because he's not working over the weekend. And I would make it a point to go to church, Agape International Spiritual Centers. And there was a guy called Tim McAfee Lewis. When that man would start playing the piano. Bah, 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 bah. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. That you can start loving me. Ooh, I love myself so much. Sing with me. That I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. That you can start loving me. Yes, I love myself so much. That I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. Then you can start loving me. This is the truth. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much that you can start loving me. Yes, this is the truth. You cannot give what you do not have. So I love you from the live streams. I love myself so much that I can love you so much to show up every day, and you can love you so much. Yes. And you can start loving you. These are the truths. I'm happy today. When am I not happy? I had a period there where I was acclimating to this thing, where I was in my ecstasy, but I wasn't fully embodying my ecstasy, and I was just coming out of my cocoon, and I was butterflying, butterflying. Oh, I'm back. Thank God. Okay, so that was our morning affirmation. I love myself so much. Check Tim McAfee Lewis. You know, I really enjoyed going to Agape. I really did. I enjoyed the music, and I didn't get involved. I just got involved in the classes with the teachers. And I used to take a lot of classes. So sometimes I would stay 2 weeks in Burbank and then drive back to Vegas. And in those 2 weeks, I would take classes. I would go to church Sunday, stay for a class Sunday afternoon. Mondays, there was something, but no, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, there were classes. Sometimes Friday, one of the practitioners was holding a class. That's when I took a class on prayer. It was like a 12-week class on prayer. I stayed in Burbank for like almost 3 months. Yeah, I used to take a lot of workshops. I used to take a lot of workshops, take a lot of classes. And then when I was in Vegas, I used to live stream. And then when I was in China, I just live streamed all the way from China. I made it a point. Yeah, so find your community. Find your community. This is your community. We can sing together. I'm going to get a piano here and we can start having our church. Our daily church. No, this is a temple. Okay. How are you? How was that? I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. Okay? This is how it works. So that is our affirmation mantra for the day. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving you. Loving me. But it starts with me showing up every single day, making sure that I'm not on African time, but I'm on, kind of like the world time. And showing up every single day to be the love. Okay, let us read today. How was that? I even have lipstick for you today. There we go. And come. The theme for the week. It is the theme for the week. Why you're dimming your light and how it's destroying everything. I wrote this for myself when I was in my hell. You always teach what you need to learn most. Day 69. Integration Day. Shining your full spectrum light. Shining your full spectrum light. I have not diminished my light. Lies. I broke the law of Ma'at. Lies. I broke the law of Ma'at. But now I don't break the laws of Ma'at anymore. I am in alignment with the laws of Ma'at. It's not even breaking the laws of Ma'at. It's violating the laws of Ma'at. When you violate the laws of Ma'at, you have pain that you create for yourself. I have not diminished my light. 5 days of examining how you dim your light across all life domains. The pattern is clear. Diminishing your light in any area doesn't serve humility. It serves fear. Fear of others, envy, fear of responsibility, fear of standing out, fear of failing, fear of success. Oh my goodness. These things are something. They are something. Your dimmed light creates a world where everyone plays small instead of inspiring each other to shine brightly. Light diminishing in any domain creates a split between your actual gifts and your expressed gifts, between your true capacity and your performed limitation. Your nervous system knows you're capable of more brightness than you're allowing, creating internal tension that depletes energy and prevents authentic contribution from flowing. Notice the common thread. Light diminishing serves others' comfort more than anyone's growth. Ooh, let's read that again. Light diminishing serves others' comfort more than others' growth. You make yourself smaller to keep others comfortable with their own smallness, but this serves no one's evolution. Your brightness gives others permission to shine. Your dimness teaches others to hide their own light. Embodiment practice. Imagine yourself as a radiant being of light with brightness in every domain: financial, spiritual, relational, psychological, and physical. Feel how bright you naturally want to shine. Notice where you contract or dim this radiance. And say to yourself, I shine my full spectrum light to serve the world's awakening. My frequency wrote this, okay? Okay? My brightness inspires others to discover their own radiance. Yes, I wrote this. I wrote this. These things are real. You know, this energy thing, it's real. This frequency thing, it's real. I have a story to tell. It is real. You know, this energy thing is real. This frequency thing is real. It's real. It's real. Iqiniso. In the Zulu word, we would say iqiniso. It's real. Yo, ziyashisa lezinto. Hayi ngeke. Okay. 5 days of examining how you dim your light across all life domains. The pattern is clear. Diminishing your light in any area doesn't serve humility. It serves fear. We've been talking about fear. And I've shared with you that for the longest time I had this stupid irrational fear. I like to decorate my sentences. Stupid irrational. I like to decorate my sentences. Stupid irrational fear about live streams. I said, okay, that is stupid and irrational. Because honestly, I used to do workshops, 4-hour workshops with human beings. Since when am I afraid of talking to people? I've never been afraid of talking to people. I just choose sometimes not to talk and just be in my silence. But honestly, I've never been afraid of talking to people. I could have never been in sales if I was afraid of talking to people. Okay? So I all of a sudden had this stupid irrational fear of talking to people and doing live streams. I said, what the frick? Where did I get this fear from? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I had to sit with myself and check my sensations and go back to the stories. And you know, the beauty of inner work is that you get to free yourself. And eventually, the more you free yourself, the less you blame other people. You get to free yourself. Honestly, this is the truth. Because your fears are your fears. Sometimes the people that you are around will project their fears onto you. And if you're not conscious, you will start taking on other people's fears. And now you are going to be living in other people's fears. And you're like, what the frick? I never had a fear of being seen, of being out, of doing things. I had a YouTube channel the first 2 years YouTube was started. YouTube started, and then I had a channel, and I was online. Since when have I been afraid of this? It makes no freaking sense. No sense whatsoever. No freaking sense whatsoever. But until you actually start working on your own fears, you just loop and loop and loop and loop. And now all of these fears are projected onto you. I've never had a fear of rejection. This is how I was in sales. So I had to talk to myself about this. I'm like, in sales, you are rejected so many times. People hang up on you. People don't respond to your messages. People will make you run around in circles. Since when have I had a fear of talking to people? Since when have I had a fear of being rejected? This is not my stuff. This is not my stuff. Honestly, this is not my stuff. It's not my stuff. So then I had to kind of separate myself. This is not my stuff. It's not my stuff. It's not my stuff. This is not my stuff. I'm sorry. I'm not working on other people's fears. It has nothing to do with me. And I started going to the library and I started talking to people, and I am now here. And now I'm like talking to people and doing things that I used to do. But I swear to you, if you are around people with a lot of fears, a lot of irrational madness of the head, life becomes quite interesting. This is why I share with you that this book is spiritual psychology on steroids. Because I am authentic enough and confident enough to share my own journey. Yes. Because when you go to therapy, the therapist is not going to share their journey with you. Because they can't. There's a lot of loopity-loops out here that will now start using the psychologist's stories against them to manipulate them. Yesterday, I was at the spa. And I know the onsen is okay. Spa, when you say spa, people think massages and facials and stuff like that. No, the onsen is just a bath. Women go there to bath. You sit there and you shave your legs and, you shave your head if that's what you're going to do. And then you go into the waters, the steaming and the saunas and everything. Okay, ice bath, hot baths, steam, sleep. I slept 2 hours. And I just was meditating, relaxing my body tempo, thinking. So yesterday I shared here that I go out, whenever I go out, I say, I compliment 3 people. I had women yesterday that were just hovering around me. I think they were waiting for compliments, or they were just trying to see what, if I understood my own lesson that I taught yesterday. I had a Russian girl who just wouldn't stop performing. And then eventually when I'm meditating there, she comes and pokes me. I'm like, this energy is, these people, this energy is quite something. So this is why psychologists will not mirror for you through their own stories. Because there's a lot of loopity-loops that will use somebody's story to poke them and stalk them and all sorts of things. All sorts of things. People are interesting out here on the streets. They are very, very, very interesting. Once you understand the mindset of the people, of the residents on this planet, you understand why you can love people from afar, but close, no. You just love them from afar because there's a lot of unhealed souls on this planet. They will follow you to the onsen. They will be sent to stalk you when you are naked at the onsen. Because people don't want to work on their fears. They would rather you save them. It's amazing, the nature of you. The nature of human. So fear, we have been talking about fears. I've been sitting here for maybe 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and I've been talking of my own journey. I talked myself from my anger, and I've worked myself to now we're talking about fears. Right? So I will share with you the onsen story. It was very interesting. Fear. Okay. Fear of others. I worked through this fear. I sat with myself this whole year and I said, I've never been afraid of people. This has never been my thing. People around me have been afraid of people. And I'm like, why are you afraid of people? People don't bite. What is wrong with this picture? Okay, yesterday when I was at the onsen, I thought about this. I said, some women, yes, are afraid of men. They are they are afraid of men. If you have been essayed, if you have been abused, if you have been traumatized by men, I can understand why my lessons on saying to someone, especially a man, smile. Did you have a great day? Smile. Look at how handsome you are. Might be triggering. And it might be like, whoa, whoa, but whoa. I can't do that. I get it. It took me a long time to get here. It took me a very long time to get here. Therapy, working on myself, meditating, a lot of work to get here. So you're looking at somebody who's been on this path for 28 years since I left home at 17 years old. 28-year transformation. 28 years from the day and the age you are, hopefully you can be as open with humanity and as loving with boundaries. When I'm at the onsen, it is my time to go and heal my own body, to connect my own spirit, to find the dysfunction within me and forgive myself and free myself. When I'm at the onsen, I'm not there for chitty chats. I'm not there to tell people how amazing they are. It's not my job at that time. On the train, yes. On the street, yes. But when I'm at the onsen, it is my sacred time. I'm not really sure why I have to explain this so that I don't have people stalking me even at the onsen. It is my naked time. I don't understand this. Why is this? Because the nature of human, not right. Not right. Okay, so fear of others. I worked through my fear of others, envy. Okay, so I said, oh, people are going to hate you anyway. People are going to envy you anyway. I might as well just get online and just do my thing. Just do my thing. I'm working through my own stuff. Let me just do it publicly. Whatever, who cares? Fear of responsibility. Okay, I'm still working through my fear of responsibility. I've got to be honest about this. I realized, let me talk to you about this. I realized yesterday, I was in the steam room and I was breathing, doing my breathing exercises and sensing on my body what was stuck. Like when I got to the onsen, I had like this energy that was just like stuck. And I was like, oh, it's because I was watching Trump news. It was honestly, I went into the steam room, took some salt, like a whole bunch of salt, and I just started rubbing the salt on my body, rubbing the salt. Salt is really good when you are in the steam room. And then I closed my eyes and I was doing a meditation and I was doing breathing work. I was doing a different kind of breath work. But I was doing breathing work to open up my auric field, to open up my senses, to just be in the moment with myself. Then this energy, it was like this dark blob of, I can't even explain it when I saw it in my third eye, in my mind's eye. It was like a succubus, like this dark blob, okay? And it was like right here in my solar plex, and I was looking at this. It was a dark. I can't even. It had hands like an octopus, but like dark blob. And I said, everything is energy. I keep saying this, but sometimes I even forget this, right? So I'd watched 2 days of Trump news. When I was breathing in the steam room, this dark blob was just there. And I said, I had no idea. It was so heavy. And it was like, anytime I would try to breathe it away, it would just want to suck into my energy more, just suck into my energy. I said, how many people are walking around this world with blobs of darkness stuck to them in the electromagnetic field? Just blobs of darkness. This is quite something. Joy. Thank goodness I am a shaman and I can scan my own energy and just look for like things that are attached. I had to send that energy back. I was like, this is not my stuff. This is not my stuff. This is not my stuff. Tembi, but why? Tell me, girl, why did you get yourself involved with Trumpies? Why did you get yourself involved with Trump news again? Then I was meditating. I sat. So I got out of the steam room after I just returned back to sender. Called back my energy, returned back to sender. Okay, great. Then I went to the sauna. Heat. Oh my goodness. The heat that was coming out of me. Heat. Oh, it was something. Then in that heat, I sat there and I started scanning my body with the heat, right? Heat is usually associated with anger. So when I'm in the sauna, I'm working through any parts of my electromagnetic field, my body temple, that have anger or attachments of anger, or where I haven't released the anger. And underneath anger is really just sadness. And the medicine for that is self-forgiveness. So I'm sitting in the sauna. 10 minutes later, I'm sweating. I'm breathing. And I'm checking my my body temple. What story is this that is needing to be released at this moment? And then I remembered. 23 years ago, this week, I made a decision and I believed I did not have a choice. I made a decision because I believed that I did not have a choice, and that decision was from a very wounded place. And that decision has haunted me and terrorized me for 23 years. Oh my God. I had to forgive myself. Honestly, it was a self-forgiveness process that, after I came out of the sauna, I went and dipped in really hot water, like 42 degrees, mineral water. And I sat in that water and I just prayed and I said, I am so thankful that I have the ability to sit with myself for 5 hours in an onsen, naked, working on the story that has been terrorizing me. And the emotions and the energy underneath that story of a decision that I made 23 years ago that has terrorized me for 23 years. And because I believed I didn't have a choice. And that decision was made from a wounded perspective. And then I forgave myself. I said, the reason I was watching Trump news was because I inherently understand narcissism because I grew up in this stuff. I understand narcissism really well. And I've always had a soft spot for people who are living through narcissism because I lived it and I thrived out of it. So I've always had a soft place in my heart where I'm like, people should not be abused. This is not right. This is not right. I don't like it when people are abused. And because I hadn't forgiven myself for making that choice 23 years ago, I got myself back involved with Trump news again. trying to fight this energy. This energy literally latched in my solar plex, and it was like sucking me. I said, yo. This is what I said. I said, yo. You have no idea what decision you made 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that is terrorizing you, and it keeps you in a loop. You have no idea. You have no idea if you don't sit down and have introspection and work on yourself and look at yourself and love yourself with all of the messed up choices you've made, and accept yourself in that hell and mess. You have no idea how you will continue to keep making the same choices, because these choices are unconscious. It takes quite a bit of time for the prefrontal cortex to catch up with these choices. Even the change. I said, damn. I gotta tell you these things. Truly, I gotta tell you. That's why I share with you. I go to the onsen and I just walk naked with other women. Sometimes I just walk naked in nature. I used to do it in Vegas all the time. I used to just drive out to the desert and just go get naked. And go to the hot springs. Outside, in nature, hot springs. Now I go to fancy places. Fancy place. They're not even that expensive. All day, $20. In Vegas now it's like $75 for the whole day. Here, it's like $20. Perfect. In Kopangan, it was $3 for the whole day. $3. Yeah. Because now I'm in the city. And this one is a fancy place in the city. The city is kind of expensive. But instead of buying coffee, instead of doing my nails, I do them myself. And then I go and spend my $20 sitting in the onsen so that I can breathe the toxicity out of me. And as I open up my electromagnetic field and soften my body with water, because if you think about it, you were in the womb for 9 months. So a lot of programming happened in the womb. I grew up in apartheid. I was conceived in apartheid. So the stress, the fear, the guilt, the shame, the trauma that my mother was holding, I was conceived with that already imprinted in my body, on my forehead, every part of me. Oh my God. And then coming out of the womb, heavy apartheid, all the way till 21 when I left. And working through that since 17 when I left home, and made a decision at 21 that has impacted me for 23 years. And then finally coming to full moon, onsen, rebirthing the last part of me that just kept wanting to save people. Even though I keep saying, not my frequency, not my fate, not my frequency, not my fate. I'm saying it. And yes, it's coming through me. But there's a part where the brain hasn't fully caught up. When my prefrontal cortex was like, you're repeating the pattern again. It's the same pattern. This fear of Trump and this abuse that people are living through in America is now on a macro scale, because now it's worldwide. It's billions of souls. You are not God. You cannot save billions of souls. You tried it with your family. Now you are repeating the pattern and you're thinking you can play God and you can save billions of souls. This is madness. I said, I got it. I got it. Then I had to forgive myself. Because on a micro scale, you can make this choice. And it can have devastating consequences for your life. But then once you heal, then you think, because this is what happened. I left home at 17 And I was gone for 4 years. And then before moving to America, I was like, oh, let me save my mom and my siblings. Before I leave for America, let me make sure that they're okay. 4 years. I've been gone out of America. It's almost 4 years again in December. And I'm thinking, oh, people shouldn't be abused. I don't like it when people are being abused. This is not right. So because now I'm healed, now I'm stable, now I'm repeating the pattern. 23 years later, 2 plus 3 is 5. In numerology, 5 is the number of change. And now I'm like, yeah, no, let's watch some Trump news so we can fight. I'm like, this is madness. Are you mad? Why would you do this? This is madness. For the first time, can you just live in your joy? Can you live in your ecstasy without going to go try and save people? This is not your frequency. But you did it when you were 21. Why are you wanting to do it again now when you are 44? What kind of madness is this? I had a conversation with myself. Thank you, Billy Carson. Oil is free. Thank you so much. Oil is free. Diamonds are free. Oxygen is freely given. Yes, mirroring. Thank you so much. I am grateful. Thank you, Mama Oprah. Oh, thank you so much. I watched a little video of Oprah, and she was talking about her book, What Happened to You? And she was talking about her healing journey. And I said, okay. This kind of sounds like the healing journey I went on. 28 years. What happened here? Mirroring. When I first got to America, the woman I used to religiously watch if I wasn't busy with school or something like, and we had that thing on, you could DVD things, I can't remember what it was called on cable, where you could save it so that you could watch it later. And then Sundays, if I didn't watch my Oprah things, I would just watch them on Sunday. Reruns, because Sunday I didn't work. So I would either watch Lifetime movies, and then I would watch all of this stuff till like 11 o'clock because I couldn't sleep. Yeah, not watch Oprah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Martha Beck. Oh, Lynn McTaggart. I understand how I've been able to navigate this world since South Africa with just intention. So, the reason I'm sharing this with you is that we spent 5 days going through our inability or fear of shining, right? So your dimmed light creates a world where everyone plays small instead of inspiring each other to shine brightly. You don't know why you don't want to shine brightly. Honestly, you don't know. For me, we're still on the responsibility. Fear of responsibility. My fear of responsibility showed up as honestly, the last time I took responsibility, it became a 23-year hell experience. Why would now I want to take responsibility of other people's children? Why would I want to do this? Why on earth would I want to do this? And it was so unconscious. So unconscious. And then I realized, these children belong to God. Let God take care of itself. I am here to just shine my light. God can take care of itself. God created this earth. The universe created itself as this. Created each and every single one of us because you are a soul with a body. You've never had a mother. You've never had a father. This is a truth. You came through your mother's womb, through your father, but no, these people are not your mother and your father. because they also depend on the same oxygen that you depend on, which is created by what? Father, Mother, God, the universe, the field. So let the field take care of itself. Ah, yes. Let the universe take care of itself through and as you, because truly, truly this, I am not Jesus and nor am I God. Okay. So I had this fear of responsibility because of a unhealthy, let me get my words right. A poor decision I made from a wounded perspective, a wounded place. That was running me. Anytime I feel like, oh, okay, I could reach out and collaborate with this person, I say, oh my God, another part of responsibility. I would find an excuse. I'm like, oh, fuck. Even though I know what that person needs. And I'm like, if you did this, this, and this, it would work really well. No. I don't want these people who are on a mission forward. No, I want to go save these ones. Because I inherently understand narcissism. And during my ayahuasca experiences, and over just the past 13 years, I have seen the magnitude of the collapse and the devastation of it, which is beautiful. Because through that, the golden age will be midwifed. It's not a bad thing, not a bad experience. It's part of the evolutionary growth of the human psyche, consciousness. But the visions that I saw in ayahuasca and that I had continued to see in my meditations were terrorizing me. Okay? Because 23 years ago, I made a choice, a decision, because I believed that I didn't have a choice. And I was functioning from a very wounded perspective of I can save people. This is how these things work. I'm sharing with you authentically. I'm sharing with you openly so that maybe you can look at your life. If you're afraid of shining, it's not that there's something wrong with you. It's that there is a choice that you made, a decision in a sea of limited choices that you thought you had limited choices, which was not even true, but you believed that there was no choice, any other choice. And that decision that you made terrorized your life to some degree. And now you can't forgive yourself. Now you blame yourself. The medicine for that is self-forgiveness. Honestly, if you can take a bucket, if you don't have money, just take a bucket and put some water in that bucket and put Vicks. Honestly, you don't even need to have a lot of money. You can buy Vicks at Walgreens, at a pharmacy for $1, maybe $2, $3, and put a whole glob of Vicks in that hot water. And put hot water, put a blanket or a towel over you, and just breathe. And just breathe. And just breathe. And make the intention to know what is holding you back. Because honestly, it is a decision that you made that created some kind of pain in your life. And now when you think, and it's so unconscious, when you think of shining, when you think of being out there, when you think of collaborating with others, you're like, yo, because your brainstem is here to keep you safe. And your prefrontal cortex is very limited in its functionality. It's perfect, it's genius, but it's very limited. The body is holding the truth until you find that story, the sensation, the energy, and observe it and say, oh. But now I'm not 21 anymore. There are plenty options. I have spent 28 years healing. Why am I repeating the same pattern on a global scale? Why am I repeating the same pattern on a global scale? Because I know what it is to be abused, but this is not my frequency. I have transcended this frequency. So why do I want to go back into this frequency? I had to sit and ask myself these questions 5 hours naked. In and out of the steam room, the sauna, the hot waters, sitting, going, and I went and slept for 2 hours. And it wasn't even deep sleep. It was like meditative space. Just tapping, thinking, feeling my sensations, my body. Back to the water, back to the steam room. Salt. Yes. If you have the financial means and you can go to a Korean spa or a Russian bath, please go. Please go to these things. Instead of spending money on nails, shoes, clothes, invest your money in healing the body. And when you are there, please go alone. When you are there, make it a time to understand yourself. The heat that I'm feeling in the sauna, what is it bringing up? Question what the heat is bringing up in your body. For me, it was just anger. And I'm like, okay, but like, what am I really angry about here? I'm angry at myself for making a decision from a place of this is the only choice I have. But I didn't know better because I was functioning from a wounded perspective and I was really young, taking on that much responsibility. Oh, okay. I forgive myself for that choice, decision. I love the 21-year-old who was ambitious enough and strong enough to, and loving enough to want to be of service to others in such a way. That part of me is still there. That part of me is still very loving, still very now evolutionary compassion. I won't repeat that cycle ever again because it does not serve me. I've learned what that cycle produces 23 years later. So I share these vignettes openly, authentically, so that you can look at your life. Go to the onsen, to the Russian baths alone, to the Korean baths alone. Woman like to go to be with each other. Come on, girl, let's go. Okay, maybe it's great. You can go with your girlfriends, but it's not time there to chitty chat, because it's a powerful healing ritual that you can develop for yourself, where you sit in the water alone and you rebirth your consciousness, because you are in the womb for 9 months. In those water rituals, you can rebirth your consciousness. You can help your nervous system stabilize. It's powerful work. This and the rituals that I'm giving you, very powerful work. They will help you make better choices, better decisions in a sea of choices, even if you don't see the choices, the many choices. If your body says no, or if your frequency has risen to a high enough level, even when you try to dip down, it won't land. It won't work. It just won't land. It won't. And then when you do the inner work, you'll be like, oh my goodness, just that small bit of, I hadn't healed this energy. I hadn't observed this energy. And for me, it was just, I hadn't forgiven my 21-year-old who made such a powerful decision from a wounded perspective. After I got this intellectually, physically, spiritually, emotionally, I literally came out of that water, one of the baths, and I was so happy, like a joy that came through me. I was like, oh my God, I'm free. Free indeed. I'm free indeed. Okay, responsibility. So, light diminishing in any domain creates a split between your actual gifts and your expressed gifts, between your true capacity and your limited limitation. Your nervous system knows you're capable of more brightness than you're allowing, creating internal tension that depletes energy and prevents authentic contribution from flowing. Authentic contribution. Notice the common thread. Light diminishing serves others' comfort more than anyone's growth. Light diminishing is, let's sit here and talk truth. This is why this book is called what? Truth Seekers Detox. Rewiring your nervous system for authentic living. Yes, I decided that this volume, I'm just going to sit here and tell my truths. Yes. Because if I don't, then we are living in delusions, illusions, lies, and confusions that create devastating consequences. So I'm going to share, if I'm saying this about devastating consequences, I am going to be authentic and truthful about my own experience. 23 years of hell. Because this week, 23 years ago, I made a decision. And 23 years later, I said to myself, I'm not repeating another 23-year cycle. Absolutely not. On a macro, when I made it on a micro scale, which is family, and it created devastating consequences in my life, no thank you. I'm not doing it on a macro scale. No. And this is why I was afraid of responsibility, spiritual leadership. And I kept saying here the past week that, I got spiritual low self-esteem. Spiritual low self-esteem. It was because I was afraid of taking responsibility, because I took responsibility at a very young age and it created drama in my life. So how can I blame myself? How can I be mad at myself? I just have to forgive myself. And accept that part of me that made those choices and made those decisions, and integrate them back into myself and say, I'm so sorry. You didn't know, so much responsibility was put on you growing up and as a firstborn, and you just took on more responsibility than you knew what to do with. I forgive you. I love you. And I'm really proud of you that you've got such a big heart, that you love people so much that you don't want to see other people suffer. But truthfully, as you have walked your own path, you know the truth. Suffering is the way through. Suffering is the way through. Yes? I love being a mystic. Okay. Your nervous system. Okay, so yes. Notice the common thread. Light diminishing serves others' comfort more than anyone's growth. Growth means you tell the truth and you allow people to live in their own truth too, whatever the consequences are. Because you've got to live within your own consequences for the decisions you've made. So let other people live in their own consequences. You are denying people their growth. And you are denying yourself your growth if you don't look at the consequences of the choices and the decisions you've made and say, oh my God, I made a choice, I made a decision, and this is now where it has gotten me. Okay, right. Okay. So I won't repeat that cycle again. So now I make a different decision in a sea of choices. Okay. With no self-hatred, with no self-condemnation, with no anger, with no, just surrender to the evolved you, to the more loving you, to the more you to the you that now sees more possibility because you've expanded your awareness. That's why we practiced that exercise yesterday. Okay? So your brightness gives others permission to shine. Your dimness teaches others to hide their own light. Embodiment practice. So my brightness in living an authentic life and telling truth gives you permission to look at your own life and tell your own truths and say, yeah, I've made some choices and I've made some decisions. Okay? I believed that I didn't have any choices, so I made this choice, this decision, this decision, this decision. Now it has this kind of consequences and this kinds of consequences. Now what do I do now? Yes? It's good. Okay, embodiment practice. Imagine yourself as a radiant being of light with brightness in every domain. I was sharing a few days ago that you can't imagine a new future. No, you can't. We can't imagine the golden age until we are starting to look, feel, sense where in our body temple is there stagnation? Is there energy misalignment? And why is there energy misalignment? What wound are we making decisions and choices from? We can't imagine a new future. We can't. All we are seeing is doom and gloom, doom and gloom. AI is going to take all the jobs. Oh, AI is going to take all of the jobs. Oh my God, all of these bad things are happening. We can't. Yes, this is a fact. We do not negate this. We have evolutionary compassion for this. We don't negate it. But the truth is, we live in abundance. From abundance you came, and in abundance you remain. This is the truth with a capital T. Okay. So imagine yourself as a radiant being of light with brightness in every domain: financial, spiritual, relational, psychological, and physical. Feel how bright you naturally want to shine. You want to shine. You didn't come here to dim, because the stars shine so brightly. They don't apologize. The reason we dim is because there's a wound. There's a decision we made from limited choices that has created havoc in our life. Honestly, that's my perspective. And I'm sharing just from my own journey. Okay? So look at yourself and find your own story within this vignette. Notice where you contract or dim this radiance and say to yourself, I shine my full spectrum light to serve the world's awakening. The world is awakening. Humanity is awakening. Okay? My brightness inspires others to discover their own radiance. I'm willing to shine my brightness. Where is my? I'm willing to shine my brightness and all of this love on live stream. And when I'm in the train and all of this traveling, when I'm at the spa or when I'm at the onsen, I just want to be silent. Please don't send people to come stalk me. I don't understand the nature of human. So this is why therapists don't share. This is why therapists don't mirror. They just say, and how does that make you feel? Let's unpack that. And they do not give you personal walkthrough. Because now, if a therapist gives you a personal walkthrough of how they overcame a situation, now you're going to start stalking them. Now you're going to use that information against them. Because there's a lot of freaking loopy-loops on this planet. It's amazing. Okay. This is how this works. But now that I have walked through my own dysfunction with dimming and my own woundedness around leadership and responsibility, and sat with these truths for myself and saw myself and my caring spirit and my empathetic, compassionate spirit just dip a bit, and then saw myself but worked my way out of it with loving compassion for myself. Metta. Loving compassion for myself. Loving kindness for myself. I can come back and share authentically and say, oh, that was just the last bit of that energy. That's why I say we're going to do this work until the day I take my last breath. And you must also be willing to do this kind of work until the day you take your last breath. Because if you stop, you dip a bit. Even, look, I am showing you that I am here every single day, lovingly, with kindness and a whole lot of Zulu spice. But still, I go and tap into that Trump energy. Why? I had no idea. Until yesterday at the spa. Sitting there, breathing. This was a decision. This was an energy from 23 years ago. It's been sitting in your electromagnetic field. It's been sitting in your body. 23 years ago. These are the truths. Okay, my loves, my love bugs, my sugar plum fairies, my love bugs. Let us 10:08. Speak. I am willing to listen. What are we doing today? So we soften. Yes, we soften. So many of us are hard on ourselves. We are hard on ourselves. I know I was hard on myself for a long time. For some of the poor choices and decisions I've made. I was really, really hard on myself. And I said, this is not going to help. It just makes me feel worse. And my self-esteem just spirals even more. And I think it was like 19 years ago. 18 years ago. I found Colin Tippins, Radical Forgiveness. And I practiced a lot of that work. I practiced a lot of that work for many, many years. But the work that I really loved was part of his collection of work was radical self-forgiveness. The more I practiced radical self-forgiveness over the past 18 years, I've been able to have more compassion for my own ignorance. Nobody's going to have compassion for your ignorance but yourself. Honestly, that has been my path to self-compassion and forgiving myself. Because you can get really hard on yourself. It will destroy you. Because the world is already hard on you. And now when you get even harder on yourself, because the world is mirroring its level of self-hatred and unforgiveness for self and its own ignorance, that projection can be so heavy on you. So the practice I love is truly radical self-forgiveness. I just forgive myself. I didn't know that 23 years later I would have to be sharing these truths. But because I have lived in this place of self-forgiveness, I can share these truths honestly and authentically so that I can be a medicine dispenser, high quality medicine for your own self-victimization. Because we've all made some choices where we look at ourselves and we're like, what the frick? We've all made some decisions where we look at ourselves and we're like, oh my God, like what the frick? But when you have a level of self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, instead of beating yourself up, you begin to forgive yourself. And in the forgiveness, the medicine arises. It's in the forgiveness that the medicine arises. It's in the forgiveness that you can speak and share. I kept saying yesterday, we must share, we must share. It is in the self-forgiveness that your sharing is not tainted with blame, but awareness of the decisions you've made and how they've impacted you and those you love. This is high-level spiritual practice. Not bypassing, but observing. So today, I think let's start off with self-forgiveness. 15 minutes of self-forgiveness. Let's start off with some self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness is really powerful. It's the healing balm. Never mind forgiving other people. Who cares about this? Start with self-forgiveness. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can start loving you so much, that you can start loving me. I forgive myself so much that I can recognize that there is truly nothing to forgive. Because you coming into my world and me allowing you to be in my world has allowed me to birth this level of high frequency soul medicine. How can I not thank you for that? How can I not thank you for helping me avoid another 23-year cycle of hell? Thank you. How can I not thank you? And in my self-forgiveness, I see what I avoided. Another 23-year cycle of hell. No, thank you. Not my frequency now. Now I'm... So look at your own decisions. But let's start with self-forgiveness. Okay? So please, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. This one was a heavy one. Honestly, this one was a heavy one. Because self-forgiveness and decisions and choices, it's real heavy for all of us. It's really heavy for all of us. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Please sit up straight. Push your shoulders back. And know that you belong here. Yesterday we practiced the mantra. I am here. I deserve to be here. I belong here. we practice this truth, soul truth. Excuse me. Clearing energy. Yes. I'm open, please use me. Anything that is not for my highest good, return back to sender, be dissolved into the nothingness in which it is. Thank you. So yesterday we practiced the soul truth. I am here. I belong here. I chose to be here. I deserve to be here. It is a soul truth. Annihilation consciousness would have us believe that we don't have any choices. We didn't choose to be here. We don't belong here. There's no place for us here. It would have us believe this lie. Truth is, you belong here because you are here. I am here. You are here. You belong here. You chose to be here. You deserve to be here. You deserve to be here. So as we know this truth, we can also know that we deserve self-forgiveness. So please repeat after me with your hands open on your thighs or your knees, sitting up straight. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. I am here. I deserve to be here. I chose to be here. I belong here. I forgive myself for all the decisions and choices that I made from a limited perspective. I forgive myself for all the choices and decisions that I made from a limited perspective. I forgive myself for all the decisions and choices that I made from a limited perspective. I belong here. I chose to be here. I deserve to be here. I am here. I am here. I chose to be here. I deserve to be here. I belong here. I forgive myself for all the decisions and choices that I made from a limited perspective. I forgive myself for all the decisions and choices that I made from a limited perspective. I am here. I chose to be here. I belong here. I deserve to be here. I forgive myself for all the choices and decisions I made from a limited perspective. I thank myself for the courage to love myself, to forgive myself, to take more risks. In forgiving myself, I release the energy of self-blame, self-criticism, and self-doubt. I am here. I belong here. I deserve to be here. I belong here. I forgive myself for all the choices and decisions I've made that were not in my best interest. I forgive myself for all the choices and decisions I've made that were not for my highest good. Turns out, I have medicine. Turns out, I've grown from those decisions. Turns out, I'm smarter now. Turns out, what I thought was not for my highest good was what I really needed at that moment in my life to grow exponentially. I thank the decisions I've made. I thank the learning experiences that I had to have. I love the version of myself that made those decisions. I accept the version of myself that made those choices. I am grateful for the version of myself that was courageous enough to make choices and decisions even though those decisions were from a wound. Those choices, those decisions, that wound contained within itself the wisdom of hindsight. I am thankful to myself I thank the version of myself that loved itself so much that it was willing to participate in its own evolution. I love the version of myself that was willing to participate in its own evolution. I'm a freaking rock star. The wound contained the wisdom. I'm thankful to myself. I'm grateful for my growth. And in this moment, I ask my higher self to reveal to me what I need to understand at a deeper level, what I need to release, what I need to love about myself, what I need to accept within myself, about myself. So that I can integrate, embody, and shine the wisdom I have acquired from the choices and decisions that I made in the past. I am thankful to myself. I love myself. I respect myself. I honor myself. I love myself. I respect myself. I honor myself. I accept myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I love myself. I honor myself. I respect myself. Good. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Releasing it with a big sigh. Taking another deep breath in through the nose. Releasing it with another big sigh. Good. Thank you so much. Open up your eyes. You can always listen to this again. I'm going to have it up within 24 hours. Anytime there's that voice that critical voice of, self-condemnation. You can always return to this. I forgive myself. I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know. If I knew, I would have made a better choice. If I thought there were more choices available to me, I would have made a different decision, a different choice. I didn't know. Such is life. Such is life. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh, it's Saturday morning. Maybe I'm going to go outside. I think I'm going to go outside. And then I have to clean my house. Yeah. So I don't know what you're doing Friday night, Saturday morning. I don't know what you're doing, but I hope you have a beautiful day ahead of you.